Nutso Connection. Welcome to Wrestling Warzone, a Monday Wars podcast retrospective series. I am JT. Joining me as ever is my partner Chad, and of course we are simulcast here on the North-South Connection YouTube channel for our video feed, as well as audio on any podcast application, except for those jobbers of Spotify. And then also, of course, you can find us at our absolutely free Patreon, Wrestling Warzone, and search that. It's completely free. You can get a link to watch us record live, and you can interact during the show and also get some little bonus contents here and there as well. And again, it's free to subscribe. And one of the cool things is you get notified when there's a new episode and all that as well over the Patreon. And you can reach out to Chad and I with feedback, and we'll answer you. We got a couple patrons in the room tonight. We got Ryan Gray. I saw Agent Fenton in there a minute ago. Of course, we got Ish rocking with us. So we'll read any feedback they have along the way. Chad, how are you?
Good. I thought Bruiser Brody had been resurrected from the dead, but it was just Ish.
So Ish has a better ending than Bruiser Brody.
Maybe.
We'll see.
Indian
Don't go to Puerto Rico, Ish.
Yeah.
Stay local, buddy. Anyway, good to see you. I wanted to definitely call out because I'm very proud of my brand new Ozzy Osbourne WrestleMania 2 shirt that came in today from the fine folks in Nostalgia Gland. Shout out to Ryan and Rossi. I think were the two that kind of made this, floated it our way as a thing here. I'll lower a little bit more so you can see it's got the 2, and then at the back it's got like the WrestleMania 2 kind of card thing with Ozzy performing. So kind of a cool collab for Ozzy after he passed away, and one of his, of course, infamous wrestling appearances there. But no Ozzy, no reference. I thought I was waiting for like a lyric or something.
I've never been too much of an Ozzy guy.
All right. Well, listen, we're on a crazy train here as always, so let's go and plow on those. That was as low hanging fruit as it gets. All right, and then you want to head on before we dive in here?
No, I think I'm good to start it out.
All right. So these are two shows that aired on their own nights on this evening. We have Raw Unopposed on July 21st, 1997, and then Nitro Unopposed the next night on July the 22nd that we'll cover at the end of the show. Did you get to find out at all, like, why this was on a Tuesday? Okay. Do you want to save it for later, or do you want to leave?
No, we can go in it right now.
Okay.
Big deal. Rough Riders is a 1997 American television miniseries directed and co-written by John Milius about future President Theodore Roosevelt and the regiment known as the 1st U.S. Volunteer Cavalry, a.k.a. the Rough Riders. The series.
I kind of remember it now that you're saying it, honestly.
You remember it?
Yeah, now that you're saying it, yeah.
Okay. Had Tom Berenger, Sam Elliott, and of course Gary Busey in there. It was a 2-night miniseries.
So Sunday, Monday?
Yeah, Sunday, Monday. Did well on the ratings. Got a 4.1, which spoilers is saying that Raw gets unopposed. But I don't know why they couldn't have done 2 other nights.
Yeah.
Like
Tuesday, Wednesday.
I mean, okay, great. Like, it did well on Monday, but we'll talk about it. This is Raw's best rating in a year. And so there's a lot of eyes on the product that may not have been. So
it's like you're handing them off for no reason.
Yeah,
even Sunday, Tuesday. It doesn't have to be back to back. We'll be back Tuesday night with part 2 of the miniseries.
Yeah, I mean, I guess with network TV right now, like Sunday movie of the week, Monday usually the softest night besides Friday. But I don't know. It just seems like this kind of just goes to show how, like, still in 1997, like, where stuff was valued. And we'll get to it on WWF side too, because like, even in, like, I think up to Win, like, did the dog show preempt.
I think I want to say 2000 is the first year the dog show gets moved for Raw, like, off.
So,
and US Open, I know 98 they still get preempted. Don't remember about 99 for US Open.
It's like the U.S. Open and the NBA playoffs, I can give more of a pass to. Those are sporting events, but like these mini series, like the Robin Hood crap didn't preempt it, but it was annoying. I mean, it kind of did, where it was like you had to stay through the mini series to watch this match, and then this is a straight preemption for this mini series, which it had some big names, had some like capital behind it, but again, I don't. It seems pretty disrespectful to me to preempt what's been consistently one of your highest rated original programming shows. And still with the dog show. I mean, I never understood the dog show.
No, me neither.
Drove me nuts because it was like
they must have just gotten good like sponsors or something.
Yeah, it's like I know this is so niche, but like, come on, like who's?
And I got it during like 93, 94, 95, whatever. But yeah, once you get to this point where like you're putting a lot of money and effort and time into Raw, like it seems crazy in 98, 99, like that preempted.
Like, right.
That's nuts,
yeah, just nuts. But yeah. Oh, my boy, I never know how to say his last name.
Marty Sleaze.
No. Chris Noth, Mr. Big. He's also in the Menace series.
Oh yeah, I 100% remember when you said it. I remembered. I remember him being in it as well. Yeah, that's. I remember the ads for it. Now that you're saying it, I've listened to a lot of history podcasts when I've been cutting the grass, and well, then I'm podcasts like YouTube videos, like going through the history of like the United States and stuff. And Teddy Roosevelt, underrated all time. He's a legend. A lot of great stuff from TR. Marty's. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, this is a crazy cast because Titus Welliver's also in it. He's a great like that guy, and then Holt McElhaney, who's he's the Bill Tench in Mindhunter, and he played Fritz von Erich in the Iron Claw.
Oh, nice. I think that could be a little bonus Patreon action, Chad. A little review of Rough Riders.
Let me see if it's on YouTube.
It's got to be out there somewhere. Yeah. Marty missed me introducing my Ozzy Osbourne WrestleMania 2 shirt, Marty. So here you can check it out. While Chad looks up Rough Riders.
Yeah, of course it is on. Yeah.
All right. Expect that soon on the Patreon. Rough Riders.
That may be a good one to throw on as I go to sleep. 3 hours, so I would be waiting with bated breath, but
it's coming. Feeling good about it. All right, let's dive in. July 21st, 1997 edition of Raw is War. Jim Ross narrates a video package with a dichotomy of how Bret Hart is beloved in Canada, hated in the U.S., and ponders why. We hear from some Canadian fans. And then they lay out the main event for tonight based on Bret's challenge a week ago. It'll be a 6-man flag match. And this is something we'll see a lot here in 97. They do, especially on Raw, like the fan interviews. I kind of like it because it's like they're actually getting to a point where their fans are engaged in the show. I'm not saying it paints them in the best light a lot of the time, as we'll see, depending on the city. But like, I do like that they give them, they show how engaged the fans are and
what Royal Rumble is it where they take it to the street and the guy predicts like Greg the Hammer or somebody like way off the page to win it.
I think 90 maybe they do fan ones. 90.
Yeah. I can't remember who he predicts, but it's like, no, that's definitely not happening.
I think it's 90. I think you're right. It's there's someone way off the.
It's like
I don't think it's the Hammer
or something.
It's someone weird. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I think it's definitely 90, and I think it's someone bizarre.
Yeah.
All right, so we get our opening animation. Vince McMahon welcomes us into a very rowdy Metro Center in Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada. The signs are flying. We've talked about it. This is really, we're hitting full-on sign mode now. I don't think as many on Nitro yet, but definitely Raw is everywhere.
Yeah, Raw's a lot more than Nitro. A lot of Shawn is gay signs here tonight. So, interesting place like Halifax, Nova Scotia. I can't.
It might be the only. I wonder if they've ever gone back for anything. I'm sure I like house shows, but
let me look at Cage Match while you set the scene and see.
There may be a random Raw in there somewhere in the 2000s, but it can't be much. All right, Ross and King set up the night ahead. We get our big. We'll have a big announcement from Shawn Michaels as well. We then get to our opening match, which is a rematch from In Your House, Cold Day in Hell, and that is Ken Shamrock taking on Vader. Vader's out Paul Bearer. We get some clips from In Your House. Shamrock comes down. We get a quick inset promo from him. Again, cool vibes. This crowd is very heated, very engaged in the show. Ross notes Shamrock broke Vader's nose back at In Your House. Shamrock is yet to be pinned. We ease in with some feeling out and a corner break. Vader goes to the eyes, lays in some punches and a lariat. He recovers to a Shamrock counter. Vader gets to work on the leg, gets 2 on a splash. Ross says the British Bulldog is not intimidated by Shamrock's reputation. Vader ties up the referee. Paul Bearer wobbles over and smacks Ken with his shoe. King makes a Bruno Magli, O.J. Simpson joke, of course. Things spill outside as Vader shoots Shamrock to the steps. Back in, Vader gets a body block and loads a powerbomb. Ken floats through, lands some punches, snaps off a belly to belly, goes to a leg lace. Bearer rakes Ken's eyes to break the hold. He rolls outside and slugs Paul down, but Vader drops an elbow as he goes back in the ring. Vader slams Shamrock down hard, hits a splash off the middle rope for 2. Vader loads a Vader bomb, but Shamrock gets the knees up, slugs and kicks away, tries a Rana. Vader blocks and throws him to the floor. Out comes the Bulldog. He hammers on Ken and power slams him on the ramp in a really cool looking spot. That gets a good pop. Shamrock's cooked and Vader wins by countout. And Vader, for some reason, goes over and yells at Vince, which will be a trope here in the coming weeks for sure. Fun opener with some good offense and flow. Nice back and forth. Vader looked pretty strong, I thought, while protecting Shamrock. And the crowd energy again adds to it. And good finish to set up SummerSlam in the match with Bulldog and Shamrock. So 2 3/4 on this. I thought it had some good slugfest attributes. And I liked the finish too. If you're going to do a finish like that, at least make it something that's like pretty hard hitting. And that power slam on the ramp looked pretty good.
Yeah, just quickly. So they come back for a house show in May of 1998, which has a Kurgan versus D'Lo Brown match, third from the top. Another house show in 2001 after that. So 3 years. And the only other time they had TV there, before they had a Superstars taping in 93, but the only time after this was May 5th, 2003 and May 6th, 2003. They did a back-to-back. I mean, May 5th, 2003 Raw, this looks dreadful. It's King versus Chief Morley, Kane and Rob Van Dam versus Scott Steiner and Tess, Booker T versus Lance Storm, Law Resistance versus Spike Dudley and Tommy Dreamer, and Jazz versus Trish in 2 minutes is the main event. So that's absolutely horrendous looking.
I would have thought maybe like they would have done that. It's crazy in 03 because you think like either like 01 they were doing some Canada stuff with Benoit and Jericho, and then 04 when Benoit was champion, maybe they would have run there. It's weird. Like 03 is a weird time.
Well, to me, it's a very weird location, right? Like, I mean, it's in the far eastern seaboard. A lot of the cruises I've actually looked at for Canada and New England stop in Halifax. It just seems like
it'll be a beautiful area.
Yeah, I mean, got Peggy's Cove, the Titanic Museum, a lot of stuff to do, but I guess they just don't want to go that far east. That SmackDown, by the way, in 2003. I mean, the matches look better, but nothing's over 5 minutes. Big Show and Benoit is the main event.
It's in the Ruthless Aggressive archives. You can go check that out.
Yeah, can see.
They're going to cover those in one episode right there.
But no, Vader and Kid Shamrock, I think, have pretty good chemistry together. We've seen it twice now. The Cold Day in Hell match was really good, and this was a good TV match. They're able to be stiff with each other. They have pretty good kinetic energy with each other. Some of the bumps are brutal. I really think this continues. It's been interesting and fun to watch Shamrock develop week by week here, where now, he's having these TV matches. They don't seem like special, so to speak, but he's kind of in the groove and is performing well. So I went 2 3/4 too. I like the finish as well. I thought the finish was pretty good. They're still protecting Vader. I would say fairly well this late in 97. I'd like to see him get into a feud. I don't know who that would be right now. I know he kind of gets something cooking in the next month and a half, but he seems a little aimless right now because it's like he's still with Bear. Bear's mostly still talking about Kane, so it feels like Vader's on the back burner with him. And he doesn't have somebody really good to match up with. But for like a no hype match, him and Shamrock's a good pairing.
All right, so a few notes from the patrons here. Marty says he has a friend that just did a Nova Scotia cruise, so there you go. You get some tips there. He also says he loves the Cold Day in Hell match. He wants to recheck that out. Patrick says Jim Cornette's talked about this place, I guess, and he hates it. You got to fly in on Saturday, stay at a hotel for 2 days before the show. Talks about it often. He gets into it with Kevin Dunn during this weekend.
So that's actually something they talk about on the Observer from this week too, and it goes into Raw not being live every week. is supposedly now they're flying people in on Saturday to kind of, I guess, save costs. Like they say Sundays are more, which it is, but it seems weird. But I guess the hotel room, it all sets, so they still come out ahead. But specifically for this show in the Observer, he says they didn't bring in a lot of the production people that they normally do, and that any like pre-tapes and background people, which I don't think we saw much on this show. He mentions that any like pre-tapes were not done on location, that they filmed.
Yeah, I feel like there weren't a lot.
But you could tell like it was a pretty small crew, really, because we get a lot of like the Harts and Austin and Shawn, like the same kind of characters are mostly involved here. No Pillman, no Neidhart. So, yeah.
The Marty said he didn't peg me for an Aussie guy. It's more Aussie WrestleMania 2. Aussie's good though. All right, so let's roll on. We had a flurry of interviews from more Canadian fans. They're mainly backing Bret and ripping America. We then get our Stridex triple action. It's the Godwins taking out Bob Holly and Jesse James, who's still trolling around, I guess, over on Shotgun. We haven't seen him in a minute. We then get a paid ad for Big Red. We take a look at the Halifax Citadel outside. And then we get a vignette for a pretty memorable character, I guess, probably forgettable character. And that's Brachis. My number is Brachis. He mumbles in some broken English. Brachis, there's a bunch of vignettes here in 97 for Brachis. I don't think he ever shows up until 98 when he's in the Brawl for All. And he is also obviously in ECW along the way in here somewhere too, where he shows up. I think it's in 97, right? Because I think it's part of the WWF feud. He's in there as, but he doesn't do much. He gets like a little decent push in ECW.
It's like when they shipped almost off to Noah, Pro Wrestling Noah.
Yeah, pretty like same concept. I think they shipped him off there. I think it's during that time. I know he's in ECW for a minute. Marty says to get a Brachis trading card. I absolutely have that Brachis trading card. And then his other most infamous moment is he's randomly at the dinner at the Hart House during Wrestling with Shadows.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm guessing Bret was training him, probably working with him, but
And looking at even at the vignettes, it feels DOA with him. I don't.
It feels like 2 years too late, probably for a guy like that, like 94, 95, maybe come in, like, okay. But like right now it's like, okay. Like, I don't know.
We got another one coming up on this show too that also feels.
Well, they're in this weird obsessive period now of like gangs and like patriotism for different countries. So like, okay, we're gonna bring in
Tiger Ali Singh.
Yeah, we're gonna bring in a gang. We're gonna bring in the German guy. Now we get we get the Canadians. We get the Americans.
Yeah,
we get the Boricuas, right? The Puerto Ricans. Right. Like, they're doing a lot of kind of nationalistic pride. I mean, I guess we got Taka. We get some Japanese presidents. We don't really have like a Japanese militia yet or anything, but.
Which is weird because that's the one faction. If they'd have brought in Kaientai, like it's
they would have had one
ready-made. Yeah.
All right, Vince in the ring. He brings out Bret Hart, British Bulldog, and Owen Hart to a big pop. Bret says it feels nice to be back in God's country. Last week he had a nightmare that he was in San Antonio where they spit on you and throw stuff at you because you tell the truth. He asked if anyone noticed that the U.S. is shaped like a toilet bowl. That's because Americans are full of crap. We get a U.S. sucks chant as Bret says all American wrestlers in the locker room are hiding. None want to step to the plate and accept his challenge, which proves they're full of crap. He thinks Undertaker is a perfect guy to come out. Instead of waiting for SummerSlam, they can start here. Bulldog says all the great Canadian fans saw him post-slam Shamrock, and there's more where that came from. Instead of waiting for SummerSlam, let's get that match going too. Owen says he wants Austin out there to finish off the team, so they don't have to wait for SummerSlam too. Owen says Austin's a pervert and a sicko that wants to kiss his butt. And if he was a man, he'd come out here. And he this is like one of the weirdest Owen. I'm guessing it's a classic Owen rib, but it's one of the weirdest things ever. He says he won't be able to kick his butt or kiss his ass, but if he wants, he can suck his toes. Very weird. The glass breaks. Austin emerges to booze and says Bret calls us God country, but it's a living hell. And if he wants the truth is they'll come and shove all their toes up their asses. They don't have to wait till SummerSlam. They'll be part of their stupid flag match tonight. Austin leaves. I would say this is like the high-end Hart Foundation work here. It was fine. kind of just hyping the flag match, hyping SummerSlam, kind of reminding us of the big 3 matches. And you get the hometown pop for the Hearts, which is obviously pretty sustained and pretty hot. And even Austin, it felt a little bit mailed in more than normal out of him. And the only thing is kind of a weird footnote comment.
Yeah, the toes. I mean, it really felt like he was going to say you can suck my dick. You know, I mean, the way he like pauses, suck his toes. I've never heard that as an insult since. Like,
it was weird.
Yeah.
It was real weird.
Otherwise, I liked it. I mean, it wasn't nothing revolutionary, but the crowd was hot for it, and I thought it was a good job at continuing the hype for both the standalone show and SummerSlam coming up.
Marty says Brock has had 46 matches, so there you go. Not a lot. I'm guessing a lot of those were in ECW or Germany. I'm assuming not many. I don't know if he has any in the WWF. Like maybe a couple house shows besides the Brawl for All. Like I don't think he wrestles really. I don't believe so. All right. We get a reset from our announcers, and Ross wonders if Dude Love could be involved in the flag match. Vince says the Disciples of Apocalypse and Los Boricuas will have an 8-man tag at SummerSlam, but both groups are suspended for 1 week. Ross says the Nation's back at full strength this weekend on the road, and Vince says all 3 groups will likely be in Pittsburgh next week. So it looks like, Chad, we maybe get a week off from the Gang Wars for you.
Big Gang Wars. One thing with this show, like I thought this show, I mean, I like this show overall, but it did feel like we had maybe a little bit too much recap, which I understand. They may have thought they had a new audience, but
I made it figured out. Here's our chance.
I felt like Raw's really carried like a good clip the past couple of weeks, and this one it still felt like, you know, it was like an hour 40, and it felt like an hour 40. It felt like they had like kind of like an hour 20 of show, and kind of.
Do you think that had to do somewhat with the reduced crew as well? Maybe just less.
That's possible. I mean, I do. I understand why they did more video package and set the tables. It's just for us, like, that's been watching it week to week. It was like, yeah, we got it. We don't need to see all of last week, like this whole attack.
Yeah, like we saw the Boricuas. They show right here the Boricuas DOA fight again. So.
Yeah.
Fenton says Brockus did have some house show matches. He saw him one in Syracuse.
A lot of Brockus, not Brockus.
That's it. All right. Well, I mean, I don't know if we'll see him again for a year.
So. Yeah, Brockus.
Might be 5 years for us.
R.I.P. Brockus. Yes.
Mi nome Brockus. We go back to the ring where Brian Christopher is taking on Brian Walsh, who's been dragged out of fucking mothballs.
Where are they dragging these guys out? Like, these are not even.
Brian Walsh was like a jobber in like 91, 92, 93, and they announced him from Canada, but now residing in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Like the most random fucking thing of all time. Like, why even say that? Just say he's from Canada.
Yeah, he had the little Canadian flag.
No, Maple, but he still gets booed, even for the Maple Leafs. They don't set him up by saying he lives in Rhode Island now. He's trying to they're playing him up like he's from Canada, but then they say he's in Rhode Island and he gets booed because of it. I don't know. It's very weird. But I mean, he was like, I want to say, like, I don't know, Marty, if you want to look him up too. I want to say like 91, 92, 93. He was always on Superstars and stuff.
Yeah, I don't even remember like what indies he was on. But
so I mean, they really fucking dragged him out of nowhere. Christopher sachets out, tears up the mini flags. We get some clips from Shotgun where him and Lawler beat up Scott Putski and stuffed him with a spike pile driver on a chair. And then Christopher hit the Tennessee Jam with a chair in his face after he won a match. Christopher grabs the flag from Walsh, throws it on the ground, hammers away, and eats a flag. Ross plugs live show in Indianapolis on Friday, headlined by Legion of Doom, Austin and Cleveland on Saturday. Undertaker will be in Erie on Sunday. Walsh gets a little flurry of offense. Christopher almost trips over a drop down at a weird spot. Christopher reverses an abdominal stretch into a face plant, followed by a release German. He misses a knee drop. Walsh slams him, follows an elbow for 2. Christopher recovers with a bulldog. Ross says Christopher is the King's little prince. Christopher tries another bulldog, but Walsh shoves him to the buckles and hammers in the corner. Christopher counters a leapfrog into a power slam. It's a slop drop off the middle rope and finishes with the Tennessee Jam. I just actually got a little feisty once it got going. I thought Christopher seemed a little bit more focused than normal. Usually he's putzing around the ring, but King wasn't as bad on commentary this week either with Christopher in there. Usually he's been obnoxious. And I thought Walsh actually did okay, all things considered. So I went 2 stars. I thought it had a little feistiness to it.
Yeah, so Walsh had a match on Nitro in January. Absolutely zero recollection of that. Andy had a match versus Avatar 2 years ago, which for us was 8 years ago. But so this is the third time we covered him. So I don't know if this, I guess this technically isn't a debut. I don't know.
I guess, yeah.
But the match itself, I mean, like, I don't know. I keep beating the dead horse with this light heavyweight stuff. Like, I don't think there's anything awful about this. This is a decent little match, but as a division, it still feels pretty DOA, and there's just not much like excitement you can build behind. And it seems like they're really pushing now Christopher as the main person, as the Putski gang wasn't. I mean, they showed the clip from Shotgun, but are they going to be around? I don't know. I guess I don't know what the direction is.
I think Scott. I think he has signed a deal. Like, I think he's around. I don't think Ivan's staying around, but like
Big Ivan, yeah.
No, I think he's done. I was recently watching. I saw a clip of the '95 Hall of Fame, and he sings that fucking song there. I'm like, I seen him sing this stupid song twice in like the last month. But
yeah, 2 stars for the match.
Yeah, Marty says he has 9 matches after this. I'm curious what he like. Is he the guy I remember? Like, do you see stuff from like the early '90s as like enhancement work?
Yeah, he did. He did a good bit. Like, he had
I thought so.
Okay. Saturday Night stuff. He has some Superstars Mania Challenge.
Okay, I thought so.
He's around. You know, he seems like one of those like jobber guys in the mid '90s.
I wonder where was that Nitro? Where's that Nitro that he? It had to be Northeast, I bet.
Probably.
Philly? No, Philly was like April, but anyway.
Let's see. He was Billy Pearl in that match. So.
Oh, he was Billy Pearl?
Yeah.
That's funny. I do remember Billy Pearl. It was more like an inside joke at the time with me and my buddy Billy Pearl.
Let's see. That Nitro was in Des Moines.
Oh, all right. Random. I do remember Billy Pearl, actually. The name Billy Pearl.
It was the Monday after Sold Out.
Brock is still alive. Already confirms. We get a Truth Commission hype video. They'll arrive next week on Raw. So South Africa will be represented in the Gang Wars. Don't you fret. We get a WWF flashback, and this is definitely filler now. Like, we go back to In Your House 1.
Yeah.
Some
you win the house.
Essentially. Yes, Todd Pengill and Stephanie Wyand. You win the house! And they give away the house. And, of course, that all ties into the giveaway here that we're having for the SummerSlam sweepstakes. We see Sable backstage modeling the casket of money. Mark Merrow's kind of standing by behind her. So we haven't seen Merrow in a bit, but he still seems a little angry when he's back there. We then get a very long video package about Mick Foley / Dude Love. So again, to your point, where they're filling stretches of time, this one they gave a long time to.
And this one seems forgotten, I think, from like the main sit down series.
Yeah.
But it didn't add much depth to me. It seemed like it almost seemed like, again, if we had a new audience, they kind of combined some of the high points from all 4 of the previous videos into one, like mumbled one. But it seemed, this one I was definitely fading in and out of, because it was like, all right, we got it.
Yeah, I'm guessing it had to be a mix of, like, again, the short crew due to Halifax and the new audience potentially tuning in, because you're right. I don't think I really noticed it watching it. So you've said it now. Like, they definitely was like a pronounced focus, way more than usual. We get comments from Austin from earlier about his new tag partner. He accepts the dude as his teammate, even though he's on record still. He doesn't want one. He's okay with dude being the guy. We didn't get a clip from last week where the Godwins attack Legion of Doom. It's confirmed these 2 teams will battle at SummerSlam. We get some quick angry comments from LOD from last week after Raw went off the air backstage. Any quick thoughts on either of those before we get to the next match?
I mean, I as we mentioned last week, I like the attack. I think it's a decent match to have for SummerSlam, and the comments were pretty good. Also, the Blackjack comments we get as they make their way out, I thought were fine, just to kind of give them a little snippet.
All right. We then go back to the ring. We're going to have some triple threat tag action as the Headbangers take on the Godwins and the new Blackjacks. And the winning team will get a tag team title shot. The Godwins are out first to booze, followed by the Blackjacks and the Headbangers. So a nice pop. Ross takes us back to the April 28th shotgun. That's where the LOD broke Hank's neck and started this whole feud. We then, like you mentioned, get those insect comments on the Blackjacks and the Headbangers. Wyndham, Mosh, and Phineas start off. We get some basic brawling. Hank, Bradshaw, and Thrasher tag in. Continue to throw down. Hank gets a wheelbarrow slam on Thrasher for 2. Bradshaw and Hank wipe out a stiff clothesline. A double clothesline, I should say. Mosh grabs 2 counts on both. King says Halifax is where you go to vacation when you don't have enough money to go somewhere better. Wyndham gets 2 on Mosh on a suplex. We roll through a mix of strikes, tags, and failed covers. Hank shoots Thrasher hard to the corner. Bradshaw barrels into him, lays in some kicks. Bradshaw drops an elbow on Thrasher for 2. King keeps shitting on Canada. We keep flowing through a mix and match with a good pace as Vince says Mosh's skirt is a little too short for this match. Wyndham back suplexes Mosh for 2, and then things break down into a brawl. Wyndham cradles Hank for 2, but the ref misses it. Thrasher comes off the top, bangs into Mosh, and Wyndham counters with the stage dive as they wipe out. Phineas then cracks Bradshaw with a slop bucket. Hank covers and picks up the win. Chaotic match with some decent brawling. They didn't really slow down given who was in there. It was messy, but it felt like kind of like a bar brawl, kind of messy. And, we're at least seeing some tag depth now. We're getting non-title tag matches. We're getting feuds within the tag division. So, like, this stuff cooking finally. The Godwins, we've talked about that too. Like, they've been much better since the heel turn, much more interesting. And as of right now, it looks like we're going to get a very unique match next week with them taking on Austin and Jude Love, which would be kind of neat on paper. So I went 2 1/4. Again, I thought this was fine. They hustled. Didn't really slow down.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed in this. I went 2, but I thought it was just too basic, like punch kick. A lot of awkward flow things with all 3 in the ring at one time. There's also there's a real awkward commentary line where like King's building up, says like, "Oh, I love these type of matches," and Vince says, "I think you just like Mosh's dress," or whatever. It's very, very bizarre. I'm still having trouble with the Headbangers. I've found them to be pretty consistently disappointing so far, directionless, and I thought this continued that.
You feel like they're kind of like the Smoking Guns of '97 a little bit?
Yeah, they're definitely somebody I remember liking better than.
Or that you always hear about. Like we talked about this a lot with the Guns in '95 and '96 doing the show. Like you always heard all the Guns were really good at that time, but I think it was kind of the best of the bunch. And I think the Headbangers were just kind of doing different stuff that you weren't seeing a ton of Raw, and they were like a team. But yeah, looking back, I think they're very similar to the Guns, where I don't know if they hold up completely.
Yeah, I think they're kind of trying. They are working to be noticed, whether it's wearing a dress or whatever. But it's just all their matches seem like disjointed and to be like the bad kind of chaotic, where it kind of looks like they don't really know what they're doing. And this continued that. I mean, the right team won, but overall, I really thought like with the heel Godwins and the new Blackjacks, like if you could have just got the Headbangers out of the way, I actually think you could have had a real like intense slugfest with those 2 teams. So this was actually subtraction by addition to me having like the 3-way concept and something. Again, it's like I get it. It's something unique. They try to put it over like this is a unique.
Yeah, they
match.
definitely try to work out the kinks of that style, right? Like ECW have been doing it for a while. WCW did it a couple times, but theirs have like the tag, like 2 guys fight and one on the apron kind of thing. WWF now in '97 has started to blend in a little bit of the triple threat stuff. So obviously it's a formula though. They'll get down quite well in the future. Ross plugs the hotline with a blockbuster update on if Sid has wrestled his last match. He has in the WWF. It's not overall. King then rips local newspaper headlines around Canadian American tensions. So I don't know, some boat thing or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, it's about the ferries, which Shawn references coming up.
We get our hour 2 opening animation. We reset in the arena, and then we get to one of the more, I think, infamous promos of the Monday Night Wars, and especially in 1997 for sure. One you see a lot of like maybe not clips of the promo, but like clips of Shawn in the promo. Jim Ross is in the ring. Shawn Michaels is out to loud boos. He's very fired up. He salutes the U.S. flag that's hanging for the flag match. He does a backflip off the top rope. So that to me is kind of him like, we saw this back in April when the knee was, this is him again kind of saying, I think, like, I'm okay, I'm back. He's dancing as the music fades. The boos are cascading. Shawn smirks to the crowd. And think it's the first official Shawn WWF crotch chop to Jim Ross. We've seen a little bit on Nitro with them, and Shawn may have done it here somewhere before in here, but this is like the first one they really like showed. You know what I mean? Like he does it pretty directly at Ross as he comes out. And Shawn, Ross says Shawn has a blockbuster announcement. Shawn says he has a lot of things on his mind. He calls JR Girth Brooks, which is funny. He says the Canadians are very unappreciative of U.S. people. He talks about the U.S. freed their ferries, and they will even free their heterosexuals and transvestites too. Shawn has some deep memories of Canada, remembering sitting home Christmas morning and getting Canadian Army men. They all came out their arms up in surrender, and everyone knows why the U.S. keeps from falling in the ocean, and that's because Canada sucks. And he does another cross chop. We get some loud F-word chants that reference kind of the signs you mentioned earlier. Shawn stops. He's feeding off the crowd. He says if he didn't know better, he would assume he's talking to him, but they can't be. Shawn has Canadian flags tucked into his shorts now. He says Austin is one member of the team for the flag match, and he will be number 2. So he will wrestle here tonight. Shawn stops Ross from rapping and says that's not the blockbuster. Last week, he got on his hands and knees and pleaded to officials to be part of SummerSlam. And he kind of looks over at Vince at the commentary table. We get loud. We want Bret chants. Shawn says they want Bret, and they'll get Bret and Shawn in the ring tonight for the first time in a year. At SummerSlam, Shawn said ticket sales and souvenir sales jobs were already taken. So he went to the head of the WWF and said there was only one gig open for him. Earl Hebner's a lot of it, so why can't Shawn Michaels be the special referee at SummerSlam? Ross asked what match he's going to ref, and Shawn says, well, you got your opening card, you got your middle card, you got your top card, and you have your main event. And Shawn Michaels only works one match, and that's the main event. So he'll be refereeing The Undertaker versus Bret the Hitman Hart for the World Wrestling Federation Championship. The crowd's not happy at all. Shawn skips around the ring. He's twirling the flags, which is a pretty famous shot. Ross asks if Bret will feel that this is prejudicial, and Shawn says that's not my concern. The officials made it clear to me if I do not call the match down the middle, I also will no longer be able to wrestle in the United States and have to move to Canada and wrestle in front of them every day of his life. And if he does, he may have to rent out the house next to the Hitman for the rest of his days as well. Shawn says, if you can't trust Shawn Michaels, who can you trust? And then he dances with the flags and stuffs them in his crotch. I thought this was the best Shawn work in a while. The atmosphere and heat was tremendous. The crowd was relentless the entire time, which added a wild vibe. I thought Shawn, really kind of crushed this. Like, it's probably been building for a while. We've seen little hints of him wanting to have a little attitude more in his promos. And here he's not full heel yet, but it feels like he's on the doorstep of taking his character in a completely different direction. It definitely has a new layer to SummerSlam as well with him now on the main event. So again, I think it's a pretty famous Raw promo with the Canadian flags and, who can you trust and all that. So it feels like we're on a kind of finally done with the milquetoast, babyface, white meat Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, I may be a little down on this compared to consensus. I liked it. I thought it was better mainly for the attitude changes and the crowd heat than the actual substance of Shawn. I think he progressively got more long-winded. There's a couple things too, like one, having Ross be the interviewer was great, but then Vince is still freaking annoying on commentary. Like when Shawn makes his gay joke and about Canada, whatever. I mean, what does that help? Because like he's clearly going more heel here, and that's clearly not like even beyond like the USA Canada stuff. So why are you yucking that up? It's stupid. But yeah, I mean, like as far as it sets it up, this really sets up, I think, Shawn to go on what's probably my favorite run of his in his career. So I appreciated that. I think something had to change. He couldn't be the happy-go-lucky baby face he had tried to be. I think this is where he finally accepts that some and becomes more self-aware with him kind of hamming it up. But I mean, he knew he was going to be in a hostile crowd here. I think you're really going to see that total shift when he does that in like an American crowd. But yeah, I mean, like really good promo. Obviously,
the crowd's been wanting to boo him anyway too. Like it's been building for a while. Like they needed it, and I know Bret was pissy at the time about Shawn going heel, right? Because like basically I turned heel because I was behind Taker, and now you turn me heel, and now Shawn's ahead of me as a heel. What am I supposed to do, right? Not ahead of him, but with him. So we'll see.
They're just kind of married together, both of them.
Well, and I think I've referenced it before. We'll see it play out over the next couple of weeks. The rumors at the time that part of Shawn's deal was that they refused to work together in the ring, and that meant that Shawn was going to turn and like join Bret. And there are some nods on that, like in the weeks to come, like whether it was just false flags or not, but like that was definitely a rumor on the internet at the time, was that because they were refusing to work together, they were going to put him as a team or something. So Shawn starting to turn heel a little bit makes you think like, okay, is he going to turn at SummerSlam on Undertaker and go with the Hart Foundation or whatever,
All right.
All right, we get some more comments from the Canadian fans. We get the Discovery Zone Rewind, which is what we just saw, Michael's announcement. Vincent recaps the rules for the SummerSlam giveaway. Our entries are due next Monday. We get the vignette for the fourth clue. We got Wink Collins. He's in the pool on a float. He's got some hot chicks taking care of him. And the last clue is of luxury. So the complete full clue is, our phrase is, the key to a life of luxury. So you have to submit that on a card, and you qualify for the drawing to then compete.
I'm still confused. Like, did you just submit that phrase, or like how
you had to submit the phrase that got you into the drawing, and then they're going to pick a handful of people from the drawing.
So there's really no mystery if you just.
They just want you to watch Raws the whole
if you watch the 4 weeks. And,
yeah, you're good.
Yeah, I didn't know if there was like some riddle of what was.
No. Riddle me this. No, there's no riddle. It's just they literally just want. It was probably also like the old catalog. They just try to get mailing addresses, I'm sure, as part of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw who the contestants were that won it at SummerSlam, and that didn't give me much hope that they cracked some real brain buster there. But yeah.
Drink your Ovaltine or whatever. Yeah, no, there's no mystery. No, you just had to submit the card. Then it was a random drawing to compete to open the casket, and then you still had to get lucky to pick the right key to open
right number, right? So like,
yeah,
we'll have to see at SummerSlam what the person ends up coming up with.
Pat had asked if that tag would have been better as elimination, maybe. Like to Chad's point, maybe if they take the headbangers out first. Sleaze loves the Shawn promo. I'm with you. All right, back to the ring we go as the Patriot is taking on Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Helmsley and China head to the ring. We get a promo from Patriot backstage, who talks about blind patriotism. He heads out for his debut. He has Stars and Stripes Forever as his theme. A lot of boos. Helmsley attacks at the bell, chops away. Patriot comes firing back. Ross gives his bio. Patriot shoves Hunter down, fires up, gets more boos, gets 2 on a scoop power slam. The Heart storm the ringside area. That gets a big cheer. They go right to the announce table, and Bret goes in on Vince about Shawn's gig at SummerSlam. Bret is next level pissed. Owen can't calm him down. Vince tries to cool him down, and then Bret walks away, stops, turns, stomps over, slaps the headset off of Vince's head. Now Vince is pissed. He's glaring at Bret and actually swipes at him as Bret's pointing in his face. Owen and Bulldog finally push Bret back. Bret comes back again, grabs Vince, and we get a pull-apart brawl. It's like a hockey fight. Bret's shirt gets pulled over his head, and then Patriot comes over to help. The crowd's losing it. It's pure chaos here. The Hearts swarm Patriot and beat him down as the bell rings. The crowd is cheering wildly when the Hearts finally leave. This, the Shawn promo is an infamous moment. This is another one on this. So this Raw kind of has 2 very famous 97 Monday Night Wars moments with the Shawn promo and now the hockey fight between Bret and Vince at ringside. It's the first time in a long time that Vince has been pulled in physically to an angle. Like we saw him a little bit back in the spring when Bret attacked Pat Patterson and all that. I don't think he was too physically involved, but he was he got in the ring. I don't know. Has he been hit since Piper and Flair in 91? I don't know if he's been involved.
Well, he gets shoved down right in the cage when Bret says, "I'm sick of this."
Yeah, so I think that's the only other time, right, since then. So, it's kind of a big thing for Vince to get pulled in. They're acknowledging him as owner now as well. You could feel the rage and hate on the screen from Bret about everything. It's really palpable, and you wonder how much is real, stemming from the stuff going on with Shawn. He feels really pissed. So I want to start for the match. The match is whatever, but the angle is fantastic, and I thought it was really well executed. they picked the right crowd to put these two moments in front of. Like, they were fantastic for the Shawn promo, and they were fantastic for this as well.
Yeah, starting after the match, there's really nothing to it. This to me is the moment that's like legendary on the show. Like this is the one that stays with me. It's great. It's chaotic. I like Owen and Bulldog being out there too. I think that adds a lot.
Because even they're like, this is too much.
Yeah,
like,
Patriot gets
like, cool
involved. Yeah, and you get a real feeling of animosity between Bret and Vince that really blurs what was legitimately going on. But they play it well, and I actually think this is one of our better Ross WWF calls so far, where he really kind of is one of the Lance Russell and all this, and he starts out kind of okay, all right, and then like when the headset gets slapped on, he's like, "Well, somebody get out here, damn it!" And he like loses it. So his like energy also like it just everything builds. Like you could feel the energy of hate because like they're in close quarters, so that's
all
where
the agents help too. They're like
was.
swarmed by a lot of people.
Yes, everybody comes out. The crowd's going nuts. Ross on the calls going nuts. Everything I thought really worked. This is one of my favorite things so far in Raw '97. So I love this for sure.
All right, after a break, we are back at the announce table. Vince is trying to cool down and reset. Ross takes lead for a minute. We get joined by Paul Bearer from backstage. Ross says, "Why are we supposed to believe you about Kane being alive? Give us the proof." Bearer asks if JR is calling him a liar and says he shouldn't go there. He's not a liar, and you can tell by Taker's reaction that he's being honest. And he's got proof with him tonight. Bearer tells Ross to shut up and says as little boys, Taker and Kane had a special bond, and they had two halves of a statue. And they made a sacred pledge that for as long as they lived, they would keep the parts. And tonight he has proof because he has Kane's half of the statue. And he shows it off. Bear says it was a statue of the Grim Reaper. And if you look closely, you can see the charred remains. And that is proof that Kane lives. Ross asks when we'll see Kane. Bear again says shut up. And says no one should want to see Kane. And they should not make him do it because he will. So I know you're a big fan of this angle, Chad. And how
well, it's just, it's just... It's one of these things. It's like, I mean, all of a sudden they've had this half of a locket for 30 years and we've heard nothing about it until tonight. And now it confirms, it's like you can't take these heirlooms or these big, I don't know. It's like, I don't know, enough already. It's like they're finding everything they can to stretch it out. Like I actually like Ross here. Because finally he says, like, well, when are we going to see Kane? Enough's enough. Like,
do you think, like, I'm guessing the original plan was SummerSlam, and that's why they're kind of speeding it up, right?
It feels like it.
And then they realize, like, and I agree, it's not the time. Like, that match really, for better or worse, and I'm not saying it's fair to Taker, but it's about getting the belt to Bret, getting Shawn where he needs to go, and also setting up Shawn and Taker. So, like, there's too much going on to bring Kane out in that match. So, like, I'm okay with it. It's crazy that we wait another fucking 2 months after that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we are still... I think that's the part that bothers me now. And
we're still like 10 weeks out.
No, when we're still, Kane. Like 2.5 months away. It's like, come on, dude. Like, and then from Taker's side, too. Like, I mean, like, you just don't get much in his psyche of like how much does he believe or how much, because I mean, again, if what Bear is saying is true, that Taker has this locket that he always carries with him that we never have seen or heard of till right now. I mean, he could have said like, I mean, I don't know, like, but some we've seen like the urn or I don't know what, but I just hate that there's like this.
They might have been better off just taking Paul Bearer off, like. Have Taker beat him up after he fires him. Bearer like is about to tell the secret. Taker kicks the shit out of him, and then he's gone till September. Like I know you have to focus on Taker Shawn, so I don't know if you want to introduce all this stuff, but you could do this in like 3 weeks. Like Bearer shows up the night after the September pay-per-view, and it's like, "Fuck you! I'm telling you your secret." And Kane's coming, and then boom, he's at Bad Blood 3 weeks later. It probably goes a little bit better than dragging it out because right now it's like. Taker's like kind of dealing with that. He's barely involved in this Bret feud. Like we get it tonight a little bit, but he's barely been involved, you know?
Right. Yeah. We haven't heard much of a rebuttal of him against Bret in the feud so far. So
No, and it feels really obvious that like, you know, Bret's probably going to win. So
it's more the booking around it. Like this match really hinges on, I mean, Bret's either going to win or, you know, how do they get around him not wrestling?
Right.
You know, and that's that I think's a lost art in a lot of ways. And it's, I just watched the Lawler versus Austin Idol cage match from April of '87 in Memphis, and that was something that kind of struck me too. Is like I don't think in modern wrestling you see that very much, where it feels like the bookings really put themselves in a corner, but they still find a creative way out of it. And I think this is one example where that happens, and the '87 Lawyer match also is. I missed that because both with Shawn and Bret, like it's like they're in these predicaments where you can't see how they're going to go the way they're going, but it ends up working out.
I mean, they could have found some cool ways to just have Bret in Canada. Like they have all these shows in Canada where he's off every like, and then he wins his way back or something if they really wanted to. And then you could think like maybe they're keeping the belt on Taker until Kane shows up. Like it was possible for sure. But the way they've been going about the feud, it really feels more like I think what ends up being the cool wild card is the Shawn piece because it really does feel like Taker's just going to lose to Bret and then go deal with Kane. Like where Shawn goes with Taker is like kind of the cool part. But,
yeah.
All right, to the ring we go as Farouk is here. So we do have one aspect of the Gang Wars taking on Goldust. Farouk is flanked by Kama. Goldust and Marlena come out to a pop. We get some earlier comments from Goldust and Marlena cracking jokes about Pillman and the dress ahead of their match at SummerSlam. Goldust jumps Farouk at the bell and hammers away. Vince makes his official statement about what happened. He says Shawn was granted the right to be the referee, and if he shows any partiality, he will never wrestle in the United States either. Farouk gets 2 on a snap suplex, slugs away as Vince says, oh no, and leaves the booth and heads to the back. So Vince is gone for the night now after he gets word of something going down. Farouk gets 2 on a clothesline off the middle rope, chokes away before working the lower back. Goldust gets his knees up for a low blow, followed by an uppercut. Ross says the Hearts were seen coming out of Shawn's dressing room, and he's been injured. Goldust gets a bulldog. Kama trips him and yanks him to the floor, batters on him for quite a bit. The ref looks at it, looks right at it, like as it's happening, as he's talking to Marlena, does nothing. Ross even calls it out. He's like, how the hell did he miss that? He's looking right at it. Kama shoves Goldust in the ring. Farouk hits a dominator, and now the ref calls to the bell. So definitely like a messy finish. Someone botched something there. So we get the DQ, dumb finish. It was all a backdrop just to give the Bret Shawn update. I went a star. You know, on paper, this is a slot fest, and they didn't do anything to dispel that.
Yeah, no, not another one for your Goldust GWE resume, in my opinion, because wasn't given much, of course, with Farouk, but didn't really deliver much either. It was sloppy. Goldust seems a little aimless too now. After, I mean, he's got the stuff with Pillman, but it's like when's that going to kick into gear? Hopefully soon. Yeah, not much doing here.
All right, we get more fan comments about the Hearts. Then after the break, we see Michaels is groggy. He's hurt. The officials are helping out. Vince is there. And Shawn asks, how long is this crap going to keep going on? So he's pissed off, you know, at Vince for sure about everything going on. So we then head to our main event. It is the 6-man flag match. The Hart Foundation are out to another pop. On the way down, they grab a classic sign, which is, again, this is a lot of infamous stuff on this Raw. Like this is, I think when people think of the summer of 97 Raws, like we've kind of talked about, have some of them held up. I think this is one you probably are thinking of because it's got the fight, it's got the Shawn promo, it's got the flag match, and it's got this sign, which is the Hearts all pissing on the U.S. flag, which is a really well done sign. It's pretty nice. Bret grabs the mic. He demands a Canadian anthem be played. He's obliged. The crowd sings along. Bulldogs holding up the sign. Just a great vibe. The glass then breaks, and out comes Austin. He's followed by Dude Love, who struts down behind him. So the tag champs charge the ring. They battle the odds. Ross notes that Shawn Michaels is out, so it looks like it's going to be a 3-on-2. All 5 men brawl. Dude gets dumped to the floor. Bret cuts through Austin, knocks him outside to a pop. Dude is back in. Owen hammers away as Austin sneaks in and scales the pole, but Owen stops him. He knocks Austin to the floor, pelts Dude with an enziguri, goes to the flag. Austin makes a save and shoves him outside. We start to go to break, but as we do, the gong hits and Undertaker's music fires up. We take a break. We come back. Bulldog suplexes Dude Love. We see the Undertaker has arrived. He's standing in the corner with Austin. Owen slugs away. Dude catches him with a boot to buy some air. Owen recovers and batters Dude until Dude rallies with a back elbow, tags in Taker. Taker gets a pop as he cuts through Owen, fends off Bulldog, plants Owen with a tree slam, and then a choke slam. Covers, but Bret's in, even though there's no count with the stipulation. Austin tags in. He kicks and hammers at Owen, cuts off a comeback with a lariat, follows with a suplex. Austin sticks in an elbow drop, hooks a chin lock, uses the ropes and Dude for leverage. King is panicking about the time remaining in the show. Ross says they're aware. USA has told them they can stay live until the match ends. Owen punches free. Austin cuts him down to booze. Dude tags in. He kicks away. Owen slips through his legs and goes for the flag. Owen blocks him. We get a USA crawl, imploring viewers to stay tuned for La Femme Nikita. We get some jokes, too, in the crawl, like don't worry about waking up for work or getting sleep. Like, stay tuned for the match and La Femme Nikita. Owen punches free again. Dude tags Austin. Ross runs down the upcoming shows this weekend. Austin puts Owen on the top rope, follows, but Owen shoves him down and cuts off Austin before the tag. Austin finally tags Taker. We take a break. We come back. Bret's working over Austin. He goes to hook the ring post figure 4. Dude saves his partner. Taker gets the tag and cleans house to booze, planting Bulldog with a choke slam. He loads the tombstone, but Bret makes a save and hammers away. Taker slugs back at him. We end up with a double clothesline that wipes out both men. Taker's up first. He goes to the flag, but Owen blocks. Taker shoves him down. Owen, Dude, Austin, and Bulldog all brawl. Taker and Bret scale the corner at the same time, but Brian Pillman pops up. He holds down Taker long enough for Bret to reach up and capture the flag and get the win. I just had some pretty fun energy and atmosphere. Ross, I thought, did a really good job matching that excitement. The stuff with the TV time and crawling breaks definitely carved into the flow. The finish was good, too, with Pillman and the Hart, Army advantage paying off. And you had to give him the win here in Canada. Fun top-loaded match to close out Raw in a red-hot arena. So I went 3 stars. It was a good main event. And
I went 3 3.25 for me. I like this match a good bit. I thought it really showcases a lot of star power you have at the top end right now. And everybody did their role, like we talked about his career years for Davey and Owen so far. So they handled their own. Owen had good interaction with Austin. We got a little bit of Austin and Bret, so that's still like a heated issue, which I like when, like, in this bridge from really Canadian Stampede to SummerSlam, you see that, like, you see Austin interacting with both, which is nice. And then I thought the Bret Taker sequence, while it was all in ring, did pretty good in building intrigue for their main event because as we talked about, that's a pairing that has not worked out and been very successful in the ring so far. So them running the rope, showing energy, kind of laying into each other was exciting to see. And finish is smartly worked too. Like it's a good way to have a finish where you can do the flag match. They retrieve the flag, but everybody still looks strong on the U.S. face side.
Marty says the goalless Pillman angle we're going to get into caused his mom to ban him for a year. I think I've mentioned this before on the show. This was the night, though, that we had the car accident right outside my front yard.
Yeah,
this was the show. Yeah, so we had to go out, and I was out in the front yard dealing with that and pissed off because I was missing the flag match main event. So I remember, too, because on my tapes, I have the whole year of 97 raw taped, and I used to cut out the commercials to save space. But this is one where the commercial's in the main event because I was downstairs dealing with the car accident. So I was missing a bunch of the main events. Anyway, infamous JT lore there. Welcome back. Ryan Everett said he had to come back for the Peter Wilson talk, of course. All right. So let's hit our awards here for Raw because that's a wrap from Halifax. Main event sounds like it was our match of the night.
Yep.
I think we're going to split the difference on this. I went Michaels promo for the moment. Just the crowd heat, the little Canadian flags, him teasing the heel turn, which that's an all-timer. I know you're probably going Bret Vince fight, though.
Correct.
Yeah. I don't think there's a wrong answer on those two. I think they're both fairly iconic Raw moments. I did give Shawn the MVP for that promo because I thought it was so integral to his future that you kind of needed it. I could see Bret as well for the match and for the promo and for the fight. But
yeah, I think to me Bret was around the show a lot. So
I'll give it to Bret. I'll give Shawn the moment and Bret the MVP. I did have Brian Walsh as a debut, but not anymore. Took him off.
Unfortunately,
I don't think we had any dropped angles.
no.
And then I went 7.5 out of 10. I mean, I think it's, we had a couple good in-ring things. We had a lot of good hype for SummerSlam. The crowd was red hot. We had at least 3, very memorable Raw moments baked in here. Not a lot of waste of time. So for, like we said, for a show that had a bunch of recaps and it's a bit of a lighter crew, I thought they still did pretty well.
Yeah, 7 out of 10. I thought it was a good show. I thought they did a good job in having the unopposed audience. It's just for me, somebody again watched week to week. There was some moments that dragged and some matches that were a little blah. So, but still a good show.
All right, why don't you take us over to Tuesday Nitro?
All right, it's the Tuesday Nitro. We get our full animation opening, which we haven't gotten much lately. We're in Jacksonville, Florida, so they've really been in Florida a lot the past 2.5 weeks here. Nitro girls dance to lead us in. Tony, Larry, and Tenay in the booth. Tony lets us know Kurt Hennig is wrestling tonight, and Ric Flair is announcing the newest member of the Four Horsemen. When I watched this on the cog, so I don't know if it was Voodoo Child or the NWO music. I would guess Voodoo Child, but anyway, that fires up, and Eric and Hogan come out, so they get in the ring, and Bischoff says after the beating they gave Luger, they need to take a seat, so they both lay down. Eric says that Hogan kicked Luger around like an old bag of dirt. The more things change, the more they stay the same, and you are still the king of the hill. Hogan says nothing's changed except the names to protect the ones he's beat. The reasons everyone's here watched wrestling and the guys in the back became wrestlers, bruh, was because of him. In the 90s, Hollywood Hogan sets the pace for pro wrestling. He gives a shout out to K-Dog and says he was the icing on the cake in the NWO. So that's a pretty good feather in the cap of K-Dog there. Then Hogan says the one thing that stays the same is Hollywood Hogan is the man and Lex Luger is just another name that can't lace his boots or live his life. He's used to everyone shooting bullets at him, but he is bulletproof. He's smarter than Sexy Lexi. And if Lex so happened to get him in the rack, he would break that and then break him in half. He will accept the challenge at Sturgis, and the most precious thing in his life is the NWO title, which is on the line in Sturgis. So this was basically a promo we've seen a lot at the end of shows. We kind of get it at the beginning here, but it's Hogan accepting the challenge. Again, I compare this kind of similarly to the Hart Foundation promo on Raw. I don't think
State of the Union.
Not the most memorable or amazing promo, but did its job and builds to the next big show coming up.
Yeah, I thought Hogan was in his bag. I thought he did a good job. He's on point, just kind of setting the table for Sturgis. So, like you said, it was a good State of the Union to kick off the night.
Now we get our opening matchup, which is Conan, the NWO theme. I think he's pretty fringy. He's kind of up there with Vicious and Delicious, I'd say, as our biggest guys now that are using that NWO theme. And he's facing Tsubasa, which I have no idea why he's there or why he's around. He's an Osaka Pro guy. I don't know. But he's here, and
I guess we don't see him again.
I was going to say K-Dog squashes him in 30 seconds. So he hits the suplex and puts him in the Tequila Sunrise. So a complete squash straight out of World Championship Wrestling in the 80s.
They could have used Brian Walsh, Billy Pearl here. He could have been on both shows on one night.
I mean, he had to be. I don't know though. It's like, why was he in the U.S.? Like, I don't know. And
he doesn't do anything in ECW. I know that. Like, I didn't remember seeing him there. It's like he was here for an ECW bump and hit this. Like, I don't know.
Like, I could not trace it on Cage Match either. So it was very
random.
Bizarre. Yeah,
very random. Maybe owe Conan a favor.
Well, I don't even know how they would know each other or interact.
I did like the dap up between Conan and Hogan in the aisle when Conan's coming down. That was cool. And really, this is just Tenay saying a lot of the Lucha guys backstage don't know how to process what Conan did because they owe their jobs to him. But, he then turned to attack Ray. So I thought that was
Actually, he probably is a Conan favorite. You're right. because he was in CMLL around this time. So
All right,
that's
so
the
he is just a
connection.
Conan guy.
That's
Brought
the
with him.
connection. Yeah.
Quarter star for me.
Very odd. Very odd that he comes in for this. Then we go to break. We come back from break, and Ultimate Dragon and Lord Steven Regal are in the ring. Get a TV title match here. Usual Dragon
Slamboree rematch.
opening. Do what?
Slamboree rematch.
Yes, Slamboree rematch. Correct. So the usual Dragon opening with some chain wrestling, and then he gets his flurry of kicks, which always gets a good reaction. I think Dragon's really refined his template for the U.S. audience, and you're seeing that now, where he'll do like 2 or 3 minutes of chain wrestling, then do that flurry of kicks with the fast spinning wheel kick, and it always gets a good reaction. So he's got that down pat. Goes for his handstand. Regal catches him in the corner, grounds him out. Tenay lets us know that Regal has DRS on his trunks, which stand for the Dirty Rotten Scoundrel, which I don't know if they were trying to get that over or what, but there you go.
Well, it feels like they're trying to move him off the Lord stuff and into more of like the brawler,
like a bruiser. Yeah,
yeah. So it feels like they're
correct.
kind of trying to spin. And it's funny because that's something they try over the next few years in multiple promotions before just reverting back to the Lordship.
Right.
But yeah, it definitely feels like here they're trying to do more of him just being like a fighter.
Tony lets us know JJ Dillon has a new person signed with WCW. He will announce tonight. Sunset flip bomb in the corner from Ultimo. Regal hits his inverted suplex, goes for the Regal stretch. As Tenay lets us know, this was a funny little exchange of commentary where he says, Regal's one of 3 Americans that'll be in the G1 Climax in Japan. And Larry will not stand for that. He's like, he's not American. And then, like,
That was funny.
corrects him. And then kind of out of nowhere, Dragon hits a nasty looking kick and locks on the Dragon sleeper, and Regal taps. So we get a new TV champion here. Pretty brief match. I'd like to see more. Like, I like their celebrity match. This carried a good clip too. It's just pretty brief. So I went 2 1/4. To me, like, give these guys 10 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
I think it was too short.
Actually, I went 2.5 because it was short. Like, to me, it wasn't a ton here. It was a cool moment. I mean, the crowd was into Dragon, and it was stiff while it lasted. It just didn't really heat up for me. I thought it made the Dragon sleeper look lethal though. That like he could just take out Regal on the spot. It just feels to me like too they remember like, oh, we could use the TV title and something more. Like Regal's kind of been an ISIS champion since he won it. We haven't seen him a lot. I'm sure he's been on Saturday Night all the time, but it's like suddenly they realize, oh, we're gonna have use your TV title, so let's have this match and then move on and get it on Dragon. So it was kind of weird. Like, it's something we see a lot of, not just in WCW, but like they kind of forget about a belt for a while. When they decide to use it again, they just have the title change out of nowhere. Like we could have had a couple of Regal matches the last couple of weeks to like reestablish them.
They have so many people on the roster. It's a lot of mouths to feed, but yeah, with the TV title especially, I think you want that to be presented more on your premiere
Even
show.
if he didn't wrestle on Nitro, you could have like been showing over the last couple of weeks like him winning matches on Saturday night. Even
they show, they show.
Hey, here's Regal from Saturday night with another defense. He's red hot. Like, who's gonna stop him on Saturday night? Like, just hype up that he's doing anything.
Yeah, that's one thing with WCW is now they show. We talked about it with like Saturday night. They won't announce the matches anymore, and they show 0 clips from syndication. So it's something they definitely don't do. Gene brings out Ric Flair. Flair says the Horsemen have awakened and they made their selection. So tonight, without further ado, let's bring out the newest member of the Horsemen. The horses rear up. We get the traditional kind of 4 horsemen music, and out comes 6. And I did like this a little bit of commentary where they're like, well, did he like as he walks out, there's like, yeah, what happened? Flair says you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, kid. 6 says, oh, were you expecting someone different? And the bottom line is there isn't a 4 horsemen coming out tonight. The Horsemen are a thing of the past. Arn is out, and you've been out once with your shoulder, but you came back because you spent all your money, which is pretty probably a shooty line here. Flair says he's been censored because of 6, and he's almost lost his job because of him, so he's just going to walk away and take the high road. And this was a great moment where he fakes walking away and then completely sucker punches 6. So 6 is kind of staggering, acting like he's going Buck back up at Flair, and Benoit comes out to stand side by side with Flair. Six says they wouldn't have pulled this if Hall and Nash were in the building.
Yeah, it was like
So
a good bully line. Like, you
yeah,
smack the bully. If
yeah.
the tough guys weren't here, you wouldn't do this.
So that sets up what happens later tonight. And I will say, like, we'll get to it. They pay off what happens and who was supposed to come out, because I think initially this seems like a pretty big like doofus moment for Flair, where it's like, well, I mean, he knows who he thinks should be coming out, so after Six does whatever, like, why is he not
Right.
confronting that? So I'm glad that gets paid off in this show, because I was
Yeah.
ready. I didn't remember what happened, and I was ready to bury it for like an hour till it happened. But yeah, I mean, overall, I like this segment because of that.
Yeah, it was good. The punch was good. Just good to see Six. I feel like he's a guy we don't get enough of. Like,
Yeah.
the NWO is so well protected and we don't see them a lot. It makes them feel special. But Six is like that in between where it's like he's kind of with the big guys, but you'd like to see him more in the ring because he's so good and can add a lot. And we don't get enough of him in the ring.
Yeah, he was working those few matches, and then that's
it's been quiet since.
Hasn't really been working a lot.
And I'm happy to see different stuff for Benoit, like after the Sullivan thing's finally done. So him versus Six would be really cool if they do that at some point. Like, there's some, cool stuff on paper here.
Nitro Girls Dance again, WCW Saturday night. We got Chris Benoit, Jeff Jarrett, Ming. We will hear from Kurt Hennig, and Tony lets us know the NWO may be making an appearance. So big shield there. Great Muda. Versus the Giant, which the Giant comes out to Luger's music, which looks a little weird when he's not tagged.
Yeah, that was odd.
Giant signals for the choke slam right away. Muda dances around him, hits a couple of drop kicks, no effect. Giant grabs him by the throat, and Muda missed him right in the face. So another like 30-second match I want a quarter star on, but it's really about the post match where Vince and Savage, of all people, Virgil step aside.
Team 88.
They come out and attack after the bell. Giant breaks free from them, and then out comes Lex. And then I thought this was a cool moment where Lex is in the ring and Giant grabs him by the throat and lifts him up because he's still blinded. But I guess Luger like yells or gets Giant's attention to let him know who he is, and then he convinces them to put him down. So Giant and Luger reign supreme here. This had to be the easiest night of Randy Savage's career. Like, he literally runs out here for 30 seconds, and that's all we see him. Jacksonville to Sarasota is probably not too big of a journey, but
we got a lot of express line too on the show, like a lot. Yeah. I think we had broken that for a bit for Nitro, and it feels like we're slipping back into it. Like, everyone always remembers like the Russo Crash TV, but there's a little bit of a stretch here on Nitro where we get a lot of like 3 to 4 minute matches that are like, squashes or just like farts,
Yeah, this first hour in particular, like, we hadn't seen, and this show has 3 of them. Like, this show has 3 matches that are under a minute, which we hadn't seen, I think, in quite some time, that brief. And Muda too. Like, I mean, I know Muda's in the US till he goes back for the G1, but I mean, again, he's out there for a minute and a half, and that's it. So pretty easy night.
Tony notes, Six said Hall and Nash aren't here, so we'll see what that means for Flair and Benoit's challenge that they issued. Giants, I thought was really good here too. They're calling him the angriest man in WCW. So I thought that was cool. And then, I think overall is a fun angle. I like the setup of Muda. I'm glad they didn't really wrestle. Muda just spews him right away and get into the attack. And it looks like a Giant Savage feud potentially for the pay-per-view. Like, that could be pretty good. So, we're getting some different stuff and some different feuds here breaking out tonight, which is good to see. I want to have a star in the match.
I do think it was good to get Savage involved with somebody other than DDP now that DDP and Hennig have their thing. So that was smart. Mongo Baby versus Dean Malenko. Tony announces Nitro will be live here every Monday, which I put as a little bit of a shots fired because WWE is moving away from that. And then this is a big announcement for me where he talks about the Nitro parties. Said Cleveland, Ohio, joined them for a big Nitro party. He's going to let us know how people can send in their Nitro parties next week and get the Ultimate Nitro party presented by WCW. So
Yeah, this
I
is
can't
definitely
wait.
a long-running
Oh, I can't wait for these.
gimmick that they got going on.
Man, I can't wait for these videos.
They also hyped the big return to New England, Ryan Gray's stomping grounds. Worcester will see a Nitro on September 29th.
Yeah. Mongo uses his size to stop a sunset flip and pounds away, gets a power slam for 2. Larry has a line in here when they're talking about Deborah, where he says, "Women are like elephants. They're interesting to look at, but you don't want to own one." It's just like, even Tony's like, that is the commentary of the living legend, Larry Zbyszko. Moves right on. Malenko comes back with an awkward looking German suplex. Today, I thought made a good point, noticing that like Dean's used to working with cruiserweights. Now he's in there with the big boy and Mongo. Malenko puts his head down, gets kicked in the head. Malenko comes back with another awkward slam as Jeff and Deborah run down. Mongo sees them, goes to the outside to chase around Jeff. Mongo grabs Jarrett on the apron, but he's able to kind of stun gun him over the ropes. And then Malenko's barely able to lock in a small package for the win. I didn't know if Mongo was going to carry over or not here. Look, I this has been a pro Mongo podcast, but I didn't think this was
not his best night
by any stretch of the imagination. Botched a good bit here, and just I think the size advantage kind of made it more clunky than I'd like. So I only want to start in 3/4 for the match.
I kind of liked it. It was fun. It was starting to cook before Jarrett showed up. The finish was fine. I'm just really done with Mongo and Jarrett. Like really done. The time they took off the end, or this time what they did took off the end of like what was building to a strong match. I thought Mongo, he's okay. Malenko bounced around nice for him. Tenay also knows his internet rumors of Malenko being a horseman. Like I remember that too at the time. Like he was definitely a candidate, and we'll see like a year later they go to it, but it was definitely a thing at the time. I'm at 2 3/4. I don't know. I got into it.
Yeah, they yeah. Well, you got another doozy coming up, so just wait. Yeah, they do. They do mention at the end that like that Malenko could have hurt his chances of being in the running now that he pinned Mongo after the help from Jarrett here.
Right.
So Malenko does an interview with Gene in the aisle, but Jarrett interrupts. Mongo's like walking to the back, and he kind of gets into it with him. And Jarrett says, "Hey, Malenko, you need somebody to watch your back. The Horsemen are jealous of him. He brought out Eddie, and he took the opportunity when it was presented." Dean says he's a man that stands by himself and he needs nobody, but he also knows there's a strength in numbers. Deborah chimes in and says, with her, he could go straight to the top. She only goes with winners. And let's face it, Mongo is crazy and has a few too many cobwebs up in the attic. So there you go. And Malenko says he will give Jarrett an answer when he's good and ready. So there we are.
Well, and Jarrett's like good here. He's like, oh, he said yes. like he just like says.
Oh, he took it as a yes. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Gene lets us know it's Monday night and they're in Jacksonville. So 1 out of 2 is not bad there for Gene.
Yeah.
Hector Guerrero versus Eddie Guerrero. I was excited for this. Some good chain wrestling to start. Eddie spills to the outside, begs off. Today says, as far as his research could tell, this is the first head-to-head meeting between the two. Eddie catches him coming inside. Hector hits the rolling cradle, which Eddie breaks by biting the forearm. Today brings up Eddie being a Rudo in 1994 in his tag team with Love Machine Art Bar, and that he was the most hated wrestler in Mexico. That was actually Art Bar, but he was part of the team there. And we get a superplex by Hector, which gets to. They spill out to the outside again. Eddie kicks the ropes when Hector comes in and crouches him. And then Larry says that he can't keep up with the speed of this match. And Eddie again ends a good finish for Eddie with that nasty powerbomb and the frog splash. So Eddie wins it here. I thought this match had good energy. Again, probably a bit too brief to be good, but with the time allotted, I thought they did a good job. I went 2.5 on the match.
Yeah, that springboard Vader bomb move on the floor was kind of ugly. Like that could have been bad for both guys.
Yeah.
I went 2.5 as well on the match. You want to get into the post match?
Yeah, so Malenko runs out. He whacks Eddie when he turns around. The crowd goes nuts for that. Dean hits a huge power bomb, puts Eddie in the cloverleaf, and Hector basically pleads with Dean to break the hold, and then actually punches Malenko to get him to break the hold. And then Hector helps Eddie's up, who shoves him down, and then Dean starts beating up Hector, and Eddie just walks away. So again, like loving this. Eddie continues to be a great prick. Just really enjoying his character.
Yeah, it's really good. You could tell Hector gassed a bit at the end of the match too, which didn't
Yeah.
help. It was probably the longest match maybe he's had in a while. I don't know, but he was hurting.
Pretty good showcase for Hector. How old? Let me see how old Hector. He had to be in his 40s, probably around this time.
I mean, Guerrero was great. He's so crisp. The new attitude's been fantastic. But yeah, Hector definitely was.
Yeah, Hector was almost 43, so he's getting up there a little bit.
All right, take us to hour 2.
Hour 2, we get Pyro and the Nitro Girls bringing us in. Bobby's at the booth now. JJ is with Gene and says he has the contract. So Stevie Richards decks us down, and he says there's 2 announcements. He has officially signed his contract with WCW.
By the way, hang on. Before we start, Gene says, I'm often asked, is JJ Dillon my brother-in-law? And is that how I got the job? I didn't get that joke at all. Like, is he married to JJ's wife, or is JJ married to Gene's wife? Like, is there really a tie in there?
I
Is
don't
it
know.
some stupid joke? It was very random. I didn't understand it at all.
Gene was a little off tonight for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no idea for that. So JJ interrupts and says, yes, Stevie Richards' deal is done, but he asks about Raven. Stevie says he bought Raven a front row seat. JJ says, this is a little unorthodox, that he wants us to come to him, which I don't understand that either. Like JJ acted like it was a big obligation to waddle down for like 10 feet. And Stevie even says that. He was like, you could use the exercise. So they go down there. JJ presents the contract. Raven says, this is everything I want. Or Stevie says, this is everything you wanted. Yes, I negotiated the whole deal for him. He says, look, you're making almost as much as me, and you got a full-size rental car with the cassette tape player. So straight out of 1997 there, or 1987, really, with the cassette tape player.
The car cassette was still a thing. CD, I feel like CD players were more portable at that point. There weren't too many.
Yeah, I know my 97 Taurus was my first car, and it had a CD player.
Did it come with it, or did you have to put it in?
It came in it, but I did. Once I totaled that, I had a 96 Jeep, and that I had to get the Pioneer CD player installed. So,
yeah, or you had to use the lighter. For a rental car, I think cassette is most likely. I doubt there's too many.
Probably rental car. You're not getting much CD there. Gene calls Stevie the next Jerry Maguire. And then we get another, which I love this. So Raven does another poem. Halfway through, Tony goes, oh boy, right as he starts to say. But Raven says, the entire purpose of human existence is to kindle a light in the darkness of being. We are a nation of hollow, stuffed people, leaning together, heads full of straw like wind in an empty street or rat's feet over empty glass in a cellar. So is written, so it'll come to pass. Quote the Raven evermore. So there you go. Beautiful. Raven tears up the contract and beats up Stevie again. So, yeah, I mean, Stevie also says, like, hey, he means well, and then Gene insults Stevie and says he couldn't put 2 and 2 together. So I'm liking this pairing. I mean, Gene craps on Stevie. Stevie breaks the comedy. Raven's doing this oddball poems that, Tony's fed up with. So you have a lot of moving parts here. We're like 3 or 4 weeks into this, so we probably need to start getting something cooking. Yeah. Getting a little into Paul Barricade's situation, but But this one I thought if this is kind of the end and we get more progression with the next one, which we'll see, I'll hold them to it. I was fine with this one. It's kind of like a finality. Also, like when JJ says, offers the contract to him, Gene, he's so like impatient. He's like, "I'm gonna put it to you, Frank. Why don't you sign it and let's get this over with," or something like that. It's like Jesus.
Yeah, JJ's is like done with it all. No, this is really good. I'm always a sucker for Raven to slugging Stevie or backhanding him. And then Gene says, "You've made a mess of yourself" to Stevie. And this is actually another one of my, I guess this is a memorable night from my childhood or from my teenage years for wrestling. Because this is another one that's been burned in my head when Stevie says, "I mean, well,"
Yeah.
And that was like Stevie saying that is just like etched in my mind forever. I mean, well, I'm a big fan of these segments. They're some of my favorite stuff. I think Stevie's fantastic in them. I'm sad knowing he's not there long. Like I like Raven too, like where he goes with the flock and all that. But like, I'm sad that Stevie, like, we don't get to see where like that was going to head, or if it was going anywhere. But it's definitely a high hit rate to start.
Yeah. And Tony brings up on commentary too that like as much as he hates to admit it, WCW needs somebody like Raven, which I think is good too. Showing that
Marty said it to bed. So have a good night, Marty. He said 7/28 is the first wrestling show he ever watched. So
right before his mom bans him for a year.
Yeah, for the next year. Yeah.
Bad timing there. Lex Luger.
A lot of B teams tonight.
Scott Flash Norton, Buff and Vince that are out with Norton. Luger gets distracted as Norton attacks. Tony says WCW should bring somebody out to combat Buff. He's just going to be hanging around at ringside. Luger makes a quick comeback. He calls for the rack, but Vincent comes in for the quick DQ. This is another quick match here. So we do actually have 4 matches. I forgot about this one. We have 4 matches around a minute on this show. Vincent gets racked and Bagwell gets press slammed into Norton as he stands tall. I want to star on the match. Not much to it.
Yeah, same. 1 star. It's just Luger get a pop and we set up this promo here.
All right, so Luger's on the mic and says, since Hogan has honored him with a title match and he is just a plain old ordinary wrestler. And at that time, I was surprised. Hogan interrupts him on the entranceway and says, "You are an ordinary wrestler, but he will make him special and have his day my way." The heat for this I thought was great. Hogan calls Luger a Hollywood wannabe, and Luger chases after him and retreats to the back. So, we just don't see much of Hogan directly interacting with who he's facing. Like I was trying to recall him like in an actual mic battle.
Right. Yeah. Usually it's just back and forth.
Yeah, because like him and Piper have the face off at like World War III. But besides that, and I think they have a couple more in the lead to Super Brawl, but I don't know since then if we've had it. So it was interesting to see. Hall and Nash arrive. K-Dog runs right up to him and says, "You won't believe what happened with 6." And they shove the camera away.
Just go away from the camera.
Yeah.
Get out of
here. Stagger Lee's in Charleston, West Virginia.
He's at a local Nitro party ahead of next week's Nitro on Monday. Tickets, of course, are still available. Lee says you could take a ride on the D.A. Denny 200-passenger stern wheeler. Get some ribs at Joey's, and since Charleston is the mecca for Greyhound racing, hit the track to bid on Rapid Roberta in the 6th, but there's no action on the long shot. Heenan's Fragrant Weasel. Bobby doesn't even really give any comments back this week, but have you ever been on the D.A. Denny 200?
I think he's done. Bobby's done with the.
He's just done with Stagger.
Yeah.
I have no clue what the D.A. Denny 200
No idea.
I had to rewind like 3 times to fucking track what he said.
No. Interesting match here. We get Mortis and Raph versus Psychosis and La Parka. It's before this match that we get what I referenced a little bit earlier, where we cut to backstage to the back where Hennig and Flair are talking. Hennig says, "I'm considering." Flair says, "Look, I'm not going to walk out there again and look like a fool." And, so again, I'm appreciative of them putting that together. We're joined by La Parka for some grass analysis on this match here. Raph chops away at La Parka to start. Parka eats a boot coming off the top rope, takes a wild bump off the back elbow of Raph. Mortis comes in, pounds away at Psychosis. Psychosis tries to run up the ropes and does a nasty slip where he spills to the outside. He recovers, hits a drop kick in the corner and a tope over the top rope onto Mortis. Raph then checks on Mortis and gets hit with a corkscrew plancha from La Parka. Parka holds Raph. Psychosis hits a glancing blow on a baseball slide dive. And then Raph catches Psychosis and press slams him onto the floor. Meanwhile, Ono and Vandenberg, they start getting into it on the floor. While all this chaos is going on, Psychosis gets a Rana roll-up, but the referee's distracted, and Raph's able to grab him, and they hit their powerbomb neckbreaker finisher, giving Vanderberg charges the win. So I thought this was an enjoyable match, a little sloppy, but a pretty neat pairing, I think, for these two teams. I went 2.5 here. Parka hits the wooden chair and slams it over Mortis and dances. But when he turns around, he gets the big boot from Raph to end the segment. So take it away, Stardust or La Parka.
They hyped the Nitro party contest again, and they said the Nitro girls may attend the winning party, which is quite the dangle there. We get today run on the ticket availability in Charleston and Auburn Hills, as well as Worcester. Yeah, I mean, this match is right in my wheelhouse. Like, I love Mortis and Wrath when they start mixing up with other teams outside of this Glacier. Like, I like seeing them throw down with these teams, and there's one to come that's going to be fun too. I thought both teams were really good, and they're both feeling themselves. Like Parka and Psychosis with Ono has been a pretty unexpectedly fun team, and they've added a fun vibe to the division. Like, we're so used to, and it's not a complaint because I enjoyed those two, but it was Steiner's, Holler He. Like, we kind of have the same teams for a while, so getting some teams out there that have good offense, they've added a new vibe. So I think if they went another 5, this could have really been more than just a little hidden gem. I think this really could have been a very good match. Vandenberg keeps rolling, so I went 3.25, and I make no excuses for it. I think it's just a lot of fun, and WCW tag matches on Nitro, I guess, are kind of my jam. I seem to always go high on them, but they're always enjoyable because I feel like it's one of the rare ones that they don't follow the typical tag structure, and I always like that with WCW tag matches, especially on TV. They're always back and forth. They're mixing shit up. They don't do just a general, open shine heat tag. That works, but I like when they just have guys out there kicking the shit out of each other.
Right. Next match, I thought was also pretty interesting on paper. Buff Bagwell versus B.
Maybe the most we've heard the B team theme.
What?
So maybe the most we've heard the B team theme.
It was hot and heavy tonight for sure. Good back and forth to start with Bagwell getting sent to the outside and having to regroup multiple times. He comes away, comes back firing away, pounds Booker, slaps him pretty stiffly. Booker takes a great 360 bump off a running lariat. And then Buff and Nick Patrick get into it. Patrick shoves Buff and then basically punks him down in the corner with Buff cowering and saying he's sorry and all this. And Tony's loving that. He's like, boy, did Bagwell crumble. Pretty awesome. Flying forearm for Booker T. Atomic drop, inverted atomic drop, scissor kick, Harlem side kick, gets a near fall. Norton gets on the apron and he goes, hey, Booker. And then he clotheslines him right as Booker turns around. And that allows Buff to hit the blockbuster to pick up the win. So I thought both guys really busted it here. This is like a 5-minute match, but I thought it carried a story, had kind of a unique hook with Patrick and Buff going after each other. Norton, I liked him on the apron as the enforcer. So I gave this 3 stars. I thought this was a rock solid, good TV match. So
it was fun. Yeah, it had some good pep and some piss from both guys. Like you said, everything hit hard. I thought Booker really shined. It's kind of a solo debut. He's probably had singles match before, but this felt like the start of, felt like a Bret 89, their Shawn 91, where you're starting to get some, not a breakup, you're getting some single stuff, some showcase spots mixed in a little bit more. They could tell maybe they're trying to test run a Booker solo run here. But Buff was good too. He's been very good, honestly, with Vicious and Delicious in this run here so far. And it worked well at the finish due to the numbers game. So I went 3 stars as well. This was good stuff. I feel like the B team is always like a joke historically, but the early days of the B team has been pretty good. It's kind of just like the workhorses of the group that just go on TV and have the matches, with 6 kind of the in between of the 2. And then you got the big dogs at the top, like Savage, Hall, Nash, and Hogan, that are more special when they wrestle. But these guys on here, like, they're churning out like decent stuff every week. And it's giving the NWO a presence where I feel like we're a year in, and you always hear about how they're watered down, but we haven't gotten that yet. Like, a little bit seeped in with the Wall Street Bubba shit, but they kind of axed that quickly. And like, we've added bodies to the NWO, but it's not at the gratuitous rate yet that like you remember. And you kind of have the A squad, the B squad. The B squad works the TVs. The A squad is special, and they've kept it pretty tight still.
Yeah, I think they've done good, and when they've added, they've taken away too. Like,
yeah,
all of a sudden, like NWO Sting, you never see him, right? Like, he's just gone. He's been gone for 3-4 months now, and just
they took Giant out, they took Patrick out. Like, they've whittled here and there. Yep, DiBiase.
So people are coming out. We got like K-Dog in. We'll get a couple more in, but yeah, it's not as bloated, and honestly, like with the upper 2, like Hall and Nash, will get to the main event, but they've been working hard too. So I think it's a misnomer. Like Hogan and Savage aren't working TV very much, but
right. Well, and it's interesting because like we're almost to the end of the original NWO. Like, early 98 is kind of where it starts to splinter. So maybe then it gets bloated, but like for the bulk of the actual NWO run from, July 96 to December 97, like, we only got a few months left, and it hasn't we have not gotten that bloat, and we haven't gotten the TV, like the constant run-ins and fuck finishes either yet.
Yeah. For it to be such a, 18-month storyline, we'll see. But yeah, I mean, we're a few months away, and so far it's been pretty ironclad overall.
Mm-hmm.
Rey Mysterio's on crutches talking to Gene. He says he's refused surgery, but therapy's helped him out a lot. He doesn't fear injuries, and he doesn't fear Conan. K-Dog comes out and kicks the crutch out from him. K-Dog says, I'm part of the Wolf Pack. So I don't know if that was official or what, but he kind of may have been in business for himself. Have you heard my podcast?
It's a guy just comes in aggressive to a job, and just he's forcing his way up the ladder. He's
who was it when Reagan got shot that said I'm in charge here, and he was like 8th in line of succession or whatever. It's like I'm pretty much running things here.
It's like when Tony got put in the hospital from Uncle June, and they're all trying to decide who's going to step up. With the weight loss, I'm healthier than ever.
So K-Dog grabs the other crutch, and the rest of the luchadors come out to have Ray's back. So I thought that was cool. You get like Autos and Psychosis, like these heels that are still banding together. And Ray basically says K-Dog knows nothing about family and shouts some phrases in Spanish to him. And it seems like that's a pretty ready-made feud when he comes back.
Conan's got a few funny lines too. He says he calls Gene an old man, which is funny. And then he says that Ray and the 4 refugees better have a good game plan.
Michael Wall Street versus Kurt Hennig.
Jesus Christ.
DDP chants immediately from the crowd here.
He still has that stupid fucking shirt with the WCW with the line through it and the sunglasses.
He's still a man without an island here.
Him and Jesse James still hanging around.
I mean, this is a minute long. I went a half star. Hennig maybe looks a little bit better than Bash at the Beach.
His theme was terrible too. It's just some generic fucking.
Yeah, very bad theme. They need to come up with a finisher too, because they want to say perfect plex, but they end up saying fisherman suplex with it.
Yeah, does not fall off the tongue. I don't know when that becomes a headache plex. So it's got to be soon.
Right. So a half star.
Quarter star for me. Like, fuck. I mean, like, what are we doing? Was there a ton that's still hanging on? Like, this match was not needed at all. Like, this probably could have been like a DDP promo or a headache promo.
I think you could have had Gene interview Hennig to say, like, we saw you and Flair talking in the back.
Right.
Are you joining the Horsemen or not? And then DDP just immediately ran.
Yeah. That would have been better than rolling Wall Street out of the fucking mothball. Him and Brian Walsh. But they probably came fresh off a match from Challenge on 93.
Well, I mean, I'm sure Wall Street's local again to Florida. So
yeah, true. They brought him in. He's going to be done soon too, though, right? I mean, how much longer is he hanging on?
Oh, I want to sadly think he may have matches into like 99.
Oh no, you're right, because he's in the fucking Varsity Club
Yeah, the reboot.
when they bring that back.
Mm-hmm. Our boy Sullivan comes back. So DDP rushes down from the crowd. They duke it out. They announce they're fighting at Road Wild, so that's a big one there. And Paige is able to reverse out of the perfect flex into the diamond cutter. That gets a huge pop. And Doug Dillinger, slow as always, finally gets into the ring after the damage has been done there.
Yeah, it was a good. I thought the post match was hot. Road Wild's shaping up to be a pretty loaded card, actually. Like,
yes,
I feel like that felt like maybe a show they would have punted in the past, a
yeah,
little bit. But you got Hogan Luger, Savage Giant, Steiner's Outsiders. This, like DDP Hennig is a big match. Flair 6, like it's a pretty loaded card.
Yeah, really, everybody but Piper in the last few months here.
Yeah.
Rodman, Churchill. The Nitro Girls are dancing to Alex Wright's music. I don't know again if that was a network dub or what. I looked at the show on Daily Motion for that, and it was still that, but it looked like it was probably taken from the network or the cop.
Well, there is it's in an upcoming episode where he dances with them as he comes out. I wonder if they were going to do something like that. Maybe he was dancing with them in the break, like for the live fans, like to start to get that gimmick over or something. And then they came back from break without it. Like, because there is a thing coming where he comes out and dances with them.
That leads us to our main event. So I would say pretty quickly, we get to our main event match here. It's Benoit and Flair versus Hall and Nash. Flair and Hall start off, always a good pairing. Flair gets a quick advantage. Hall bails to the outside. Benoit comes in, gives the Dragon Screw in the Northern Lights suplex to Hall. Flair gives him a chop. The Horsemen are rolling. The crowd's popping big for it. Nash gets the tag in. Flair wants the tag. He woos at Nash, chops him to no avail, but Nash shoves him down with one hand. The NWO celebrates 6, whacks Flair from the apron. That leads him right into the side suplex for a 2 count. Fallaway slam to Flair from Hall. I like this match structure because I think going in, you would have thought that Benoit would have been the face in peril. So I thought it was a good reversal for Flair to be the face in peril here, leading to the hot tag with Benoit. Just looked good. And the Outsiders are pretty relentless, beating him down. Yeah. Snake Eyes by Nash. Hall follows that up with a clothesline. Flair locks on the sleeper for just a brief moment, but Hall is able to reverse that. But Flair gets the back suplex, makes the hot tag. Benoit's a house of fire. He avoids good strikes from Nash, showing some speed there. Sends the Outsiders into each other, hits the headbutt, but Flair pulls 6 down from the apron, and Nash is able to save the pinfall attempt off the headbutt. 6 gets sent into the guardrail by Flair. Benoit fights out of the jackknife powerbomb. The crowd erupts for that, but then he gets caught in a big boot, which looks stiff as hell, and the Outsiders get the win. And 6 is able to recover on the outside and locks on the Buzz Killer with Flair on the floor. And then we end, I would say, pretty abruptly where Mongo comes in to help the Horsemen, pulls 6 off. And then the Steiners
6 across like the floor too.
Yeah. And then the Steiners are just on the entrance way. I mean, I know that set up the match now at Road Wild, but it seemed weird for them to just be like, I mean, I guess because it was the Horsemen, so I kind of get it, but it was a little odd them just coming out at the end and being like, hey.
Yeah, they probably didn't need to bother doing that. Or they should have been at ringside the whole time, maybe.
Yeah. So as a match, I really like this. I thought it had good energy. It's a sub 10-minute match, but to me, this is one of these like Flair resume builders. I've been watching, like I say, a lot of 87, and Flair's the man, obviously, in that. But I've really enjoyed Flair the last few months in this run. I thought he was a great face in peril here. I thought the Outsiders were motivated. Benoit was away from Sullivan. He looks revitalized a little bit. So everything cooked, and I thought it was a very good main event. I went 3 1/4.
Yeah, it was very good. I like Tony calling out too that the Buzz Killer was on Flair's rehab shoulder. So they set up that for Road Wild to make 6 feel like a threat. It was a classic tag match. I like the heat segment was really good. The selling from Flair was classic stuff. Benoit really shined in that finish, like you said. I'm sure he's good to be done with like his wife and his ex. Like whether he's just tired of the feud or not, like he's probably happy to be just done with that shit too. Like draining on him. the clean finish was good. I like the post match. I thought Flair was gold selling the shoulder, and they delivered on a big tag team title match. There was no fuckery again. Like they advertised this match, and it happened. It was a big one. I went 3.5. I thought it was a really, really good main event.
Alrighty.
All right, so awards time. I went with the main event for match of the night.
Yeah.
One thing this show was pretty good. I liked it a lot. I think one thing it lacked was moments. Like that, I would say, like it was a lot of storytelling. It hummed along. There's some good matches, but we didn't really have whereas Raw kind of was the opposite almost. Like not as much in ring going on, but maybe better than most weeks. But it was really the moments that clicked. Clicked on Raw. So more so than Nitro, but. So that said, I went DDP attacking headache as the moment.
Yeah, I ended up going with that too. I mean, about the only other thing I could have seen was maybe the 80 bit Malenko stuff.
Oh yeah, that was good too. And even the end with Six attacking Flair with the Buzzkiller was good. But that was kind of rolled into the main event. I did go Flair for MVP. I thought he was good in the promo. I thought he was awesome in the match.
Yep.
And then debuts, I think it was only Tsubasa, I believe. Road Report, Charleston. I didn't have any dropped angles. Well, you called out the shots fired live every week. Mm-hmm. And then I gave it the same grade. I went 7.5 out of 10. I thought it was very much like Raw, just in a different way. Like it was a really strong show. A lot of good stuff happened. A lot of momentum toward Wild. Just didn't have the high of the moments. Whereas Raw, again, had like 3 or 4 kind of iconic Summer of '97 Raw moments.
Yeah, same grade for me too as what I gave Raw, 7 out of 10. I mean, I think it was just both shows were good. So 2 good shows. Nothing amazing, but 2 good shows.
So for our combo awards, I mean, our grades are tied. So what do you want to?
I think I'd go Raw.
Yeah, me too. So that's their first win. I mean, they won Canadian Stampede, but it's the first Raw win in about a month. We went June 23rd. We gave to Raw as well. Best match, we'll go with Hall and Nash against.
Yeah, this is our first hidden gem in a while. It's about a month too. So,
yeah, that was a good one. All right, best moment. So we kind of got a potpourri here.
I think you could make an argument to do moment for Shawn and MVP for Bret.
That's what I was going to say. Okay, let's do that. I think that covers like the big stuff.
Yeah.
Commentary.
I would go Raw.
Yeah, me too. I thought Ross was really good. So big night for Raw here. I mean, that's not often that they kind of nearly almost sweep the categories.
And it's not really at Nitro's expense too. So I think
it's not like Nitro sucks,
that's good for Raw that like you didn't really get the opposition, messing up. That they didn't deliver a home run, but I would say the Raw was like a nice double, triple. Like they did a good job.
And we'll see. They got one more week to SummerSlam, so we'll see how they bring this home. Like Mania. I think you could argue SummerSlam right now is their biggest show of the year for '97 because Mania was so haphazardly thrown together.
Yeah.
So much shit was going on at the time with the new Raw and like all the changes and the Shawn injury. Like SummerSlam and King of the Ring was a mess. The Rumble, it was built fine, but like this feels like the biggest show of their year where like they're not in turmoil. They're not throwing shit all over the place. Like they've had concrete build throughout the summer to get to this show. Like the card makes sense. So it's like, it's kind of their first big show of the year where everything's kind of been in place. So we'll see if they can close the build out. But that'll be in 2 weeks here. So thank you for everyone that joined. Want to check out everything under South Connection. We're continuing No So 95, our tribute to the year 1995. We also, of course, are hitting all of our modern day WWE coverage. We have all the PLE previews. We have the post shows. We recently had that for WrestlePalooza. We got Crown Jewel coming up. So Ryan and the crew will be churning all that out as well. Be sure to stay tuned. Also want to give a shout out recently. Our very own Jenny Smith was on Mystery Titans Theater. If you haven't checked that out, that's always a fun show with our buddies Travis and Johnny Sarro and Kelly Nelson. They do a fun job with that every couple weeks. You can watch them live on Twitch or check them out later on their YouTube channel when they post it. Jenny was on recently, so that was a good listen. And of course, Chad, you had the over the last month or so, you had the special drop on the Patreon as well. Was it the history of Orlando wrestling or Florida wrestling?
Yeah, Orlando centric, and I would also give a shout to Charles at Wrestling Playlist. He's doing his Golden Series. He started with WrestleMania 3, which is interesting because I think you see that more as like a destination show, but it's really the launch point. And just worldwide between that point and the Island Death match in October between Saito and Inoki. Charles has been chronicling up to 1987 so far, and he says that's like the most rich 5-6 month period of great matches and great stuff going on worldwide. And so far, like April definitely delivered. There was just a potpourri of amazing stuff all over the place. So it's been a lot of fun.
All right, so check all that out and be back with us in 2 weeks' time. Join the Patreon. You can watch us live. I want to thank all those who joined and commented. Pat Fenton was here, Ryan Everett, Ryan Gray, Marty Sleaze, Ish. I think that was everyone that popped in. If I missed anyone, I apologize, but I think that was the bulk of it. So anyway, thanks for watching. Join us 2 weeks. Smell the napalm. We're out. Talk to you soon.